really interesting when the discussion started about Common Core. As an active precinct committeeman in District 16, I became very aware of the anger that people felt in District 16, feeling like Common Core was a bad thing. And so I very easily moved into that camp of opposing Common Core, because I have always thought that the type of system that we've used has failed time after time. We've had the standards in place. When I was in the legislature before, we had the same argument. It was a different name, but the same argument. And it seems like our teachers deal more with having to pass these tests. They want to make themselves look good so they can keep their job, their principal look good, their school, their superintendent. And there's so much focus on passing the test that it becomes a priority over teaching students. And so I believe that testing is of questionable value, but we need to free our teachers to teach and not having to worry about teaching to the tune of these tests that will be given, because it's a question: has teaching improved in Arizona with the testing system? I question that it has. And so when I saw my district so solidly opposed to Common Core, I didn't even have to do a lot of study to determine that I was not supportive of that. So what I am for is for choice, school choice and parental involvement, and getting teachers freed up, the money in the classroom, so that they can focus on teaching children. There's so much diversity in the classroom, and these programs that come down from wherever they come from outside Arizona, do not take into consideration the individuality of each student. That's what a good teacher can do in their classroom if they are free to do what they in their heart feel is the right thing to do.
I think that anyone who's serious about worrying about Arizona's future is going to be very concerned about our education system. There's a long way to go. There's a lot of work to do. I think that high standards are extremely important for our state, though. Mr. Farnsworth has said before that he doesn't know if we need standards at all in our schools. And I think that would be very unwise to have no standards. We need high standards, and we need to continue to raise those standards. I also think that testing is an extremely important part of our education system. I know that it's difficult, and we had some issues with the Ames test, which is why it's going away. But we need to have ways that we can measure student improvement, and we can measure and see how well schools are doing. So testing is extremely important. High standards are extremely important. But standards aren't the only important part of improving our education system. There's a lot that we can do. We know that better teachers yield better results, and so we need to do everything we can to give teachers the proper tools and training necessary to teach our children. And then we need to hold teachers accountable, and we need to hold administrators accountable as well. So I think the first part of that's important. They need to have the tools, but then they need to be held accountable as well. And that's extremely important. We also need to have a data system that allows us to measure student improvement, because what is measured is improved. I believe that to be true, and so we need to implement a data system that allows us to see how students are doing, how different schools are doing, and we need to find those schools that are excelling. We need to find out what they're doing, because they are out there. Not all of our schools are doing poorly. There are pockets of excellence all throughout our state, and all different parts of our state, all different types of people are doing extremely well. So we need to find those schools, and we need to replicate them, and we need to help them expand. And we need to find the schools that are failing, and if they continue to fail our children for too long, we need to shut those schools down and send those kids to better schools, because no child deserves to go to a failing school. So those are some of the things that I think we can do, but I will reiterate that we need to have high standards in our schools, and we need to find an assessment that will allow us to test those standards.